can go ahead and open your eyes. Sorry. I always, like, for me, I know when I can, and I forget that other people can't read my mind. So then, because I can read minds. I don't know about
right?
Okay, hello. Hi. Welcome back. You'll notice I'm wearing the exact same shirt as the last interview video I did because it is the same day. And so then here I am sitting with Danielle, who also works with me at school. And you all are thinking, Laura, do you have any friends outside of your coworkers? No, I do not. Danielle is the same. She's a bit of a workaholic too because I will get there at like 6:30 in the morning, and there'll be mornings where she has been there for like an hour already, and then she'll stay later. So yeah, we have almost no friends outside of work because we're always at work. Danielle has brought her makeup with her. She doesn't do a lot of makeup. What do you do instead of makeup for you to get your like self-care in?
I will do the eyelash extensions. I'll do the Botox. I'm going to get some fillers to fill in these little circles here. I get my lips done. Possibly some other stuff. I don't know. I'm still researching.
I do makeup because I am so scared of needles. So everybody has different ways that they approach their personal beauty and their personal care. And I love that. I love that there are so many different ways to get your personal confidence. For today, she has brought her ColourPop Sweet Talk. It's such a nice little palette. It tells you you're pretty when you open it.
And it's cheap. Teacher's budget.
What we're going to do is, and you can use the wand on your eye or you can put it on your finger and tap it on your eye, but I'm going to have you put some of this eyeshadow primer. That's perfect. Did you cover the entire area?
Mm-hmm.
I just like poke myself in the eye. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put it all over shimmer. I am patting all over with this shade called Catch Me. It is a light pink, very matte, very pretty. I'm going to tap that all over the lid to create a base. Danielle, like I said, she works at the school where I work. Danielle, tell them about your position at the school. What is your work?
I work as the special ed teacher and director of the two schools. So I do K through 12. I manage all K-12 kids and work with all the teachers and work with these guys. Really good team to work with.
I think we had an amazing team. We had something really special. I love Danielle and Abigail, Abby Wheaton, because they just make my job so much easier. Because I will, like 2 days before I have a test where I have a student that needs like accommodations, I'll be like, and I'll email it to Danielle and be like, Danielle, I need help, and she'll help me create those accommodations. And she's never one, at least as far as I know, don't correct me otherwise, she's never been one to complain about it. She's always so sweet, like, no, it's fine, I'll do it, and thank you so much. And she's such a kind soul, and she helps us teachers so much. Now, what motivated you to get into your line of work?
It was not my first choice. So I originally went to school to be a lawyer. Loved being in the courtroom, and then I had a 3-hour gap in between my schedules. So I took up a sign language class, which I've always wanted to do sign language. Loved it, fell in love, was the top student, became the tutor in the classroom, and then kind of went down the road of sign language interpreting.
Nice.
So went to Finks College to do it's called the IPP, so Interpreters Preparation Program. Got that certificate, and then I decided why not teach it, and so I had to do a beginner's like introduction to education where I had to do some observation hours, and I actually got placed at my old high school in a special ed room. And I've always been one for special ed, even in high school. I felt like I was their advocate and stepping up for the kids and making them not feel different.
That's awesome.
So loved it and just decided to go into teaching from there. And it had to be special ed. I've always loved it, and now I want to kind of get into deaf special education.
That's interesting. See, I could see you being a lawyer. And then I ended up in teaching, and I know that teaching is my life's calling because
you're great at it. You
Thanks.
are. Like, I would want to sit in your ELA class for sure.
I mean, like, any class besides the seniors, because I was always really mean with the seniors. I do love teaching. Every time I've had a non-teaching job since I started teaching, I ended up hating it. What I did, as she was talking, I took my blender brush, which you all know, I blend everything. I rarely clean this brush between colors because to me, like having all those colors on the brush makes the blend. And so what I did was at first I put on that really light pink Catch Me. And then I put on a bit of an orange shade below the Catch Me, but above the crease, called Work It. It looks tan in the pan, but then when you put it on the skin, you can see on Danielle's skin it looks a little orangey. And then I also went over it with Dream Maker. My last matte color that I'm going to be blending on her above eye is this really gorgeous, like, I want to say mauve. I'm not good with colors at all. I just say, this looks kind of pinkish. ICYMI. So then you want to be a lawyer, and then you ended up working in special ed, and then that was your calling.
Yes.
Now, earlier, I heard you mention that you are doing some schooling right now.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about that? Like, what are you schooling for, going to school for, and what are you hoping to achieve with that degree?
Oh, so good question there. So I'm doing online courses through NAU to get my master's in administration.
Okay.
Because I do want to become a principal and work my way up to the Board of Education.
Okay.
To kind of be, again, the activist for special ed and making sure that they're taken care of.
Which is something that there is a problem with, you know, in general. And I think you might know who I'm thinking about here. My friend's daughter is supposed to be on the plan, and it's not always followed, and that can be very frustrating. I've seen how frustrating it can be to not have things followed like they're supposed to be followed, and that's part of the reason why I was so particular this year. Last year I wasn't as good at it, but it was my first year. I was barely making it.
She did great.
But then, great. Like no. So for Danielle's eye, first of all, your eyelid is very light to begin with, so there's not really any lightening that needs to happen there. What I'm going to be doing instead is I'm going to take the color on the brush and I'm just going to spray it with a shit ton of setting spray. Because it is a glitter, I might actually need to end up doing fingers, but I'm going to try with the brush first. Okay. Because obviously you have to cover a lot of subjects with your students. You kind of have to be a bit of an expert in every subject to help your students accommodate. Well, let's start with what do you feel is my restraints in that area?
Knowing that I can ask for help, knowing when to ask for help, and say that, and tell the kids, to be honest, and say, I don't know, you need to go to the teacher.
That is such a pretty
color.
color.
I'm excited to see it. Because I tried to play around with the glitter, and it just all over the place.
It is all over the place because there is some fallout happening in your lash and under your eye. But if we go through with a Q-tip and clean that up, it'll look amazing. One of your big things with the, because we've sat in meetings together, and one of the big things that I've noticed you really push for in those meetings is self-advocacy.
Yes.
Why do you believe self-advocacy is so important for students that have those needs?
Because they are young adults, even in the elementary school, honestly, like they need to learn to speak up for help because we don't, like you said, we're not mind readers.
Right.
And they need to be able to feel comfortable asking for help and knowing not really seeing that they are different, but just being able to speak up and say, look, yes, I am different, but can you clarify stuff? You know, just go about it the right way. And I think it's just super important because after school, IEPs don't exist.
Right, when you go to college.
Yeah, the 504 and IEP doesn't exist. There are accommodations, but they're not the same ones they're getting in school. So they need to
learn. You can go ahead and open your eye.
They need to learn to speak up.
What is your favorite part of your job?
Never a dull day.
Never a dull day, right? There's always some kind of variety.
Yeah.
First, on the inner lid, I did this side to side. And then in the middle of the lid, I'm trying to do this prima drama. And then on the outer lid, I'm going to do the early morning. So never a dull day.
Never a dull day.
Which is, I think, part of what's so important for me with my work. We did the 3 shimmers across the eyelid. I might go back a little later and tap on some more. But you can see even in the camera here, like there's a lot of shimmer happening on the lid. Is it robbers come to kill us in our sleep?
So we got a shit ton of snacks, by the way.
Yay!
Yeah. I tried to parallel park just now for like 5 minutes.
So, we have the shimmers on the eye. We already have the blend up top. I'm going to create a smoky with a little bit of this color West Side. So Danielle brought up a very good point as we were off recording. Danielle, tell us about your least favorite foods in the whole wide world.
Fruits and veggies. Don't touch them.
She does not eat any fruits or any vegetables.
If it's on my plate, I don't eat it. It touches, I don't eat it. Nothing.
Is it the taste? Is it the consistency?
It's everything. It's taste, smell, texture.
Chris Pine is goals.
Chris Evans,
You
man.
can have them. My Leonardo.
So when did that start, Danielle?
My entire life. Wait, which one, Leonardo or the fruits and veggies? Yeah, the fruits and veggies. Of course, like as a baby, I ate that stuff, but it didn't last very long. And so I've just been that way. I stick to protein and cake is my food. It's my diet.
Look at this variety, ladies. Okay, we got a Lancome. Ooh.
You like a vanilla wafer?
Only if you feed it directly to me. Just kidding.
We can open this one because that's.
I get getting really bad pimples.
And sunspots. You'll see my sunspots right here.
I am going to be using this Lancome taint. But I think it means something different in French. So then, I see it in the video too. Do y'all see Riley's whipping her hair back and forth?
Really whip it. Whip it. There you go.
I think we got enough here to do a light layer across. Choose this stuff.
Not too prime.
I used it today.
Is a crime.
I loved it. I think my skin is so
It is.
soft.
Doesn't it feel so cool? Like Hannah's used it now. But
Can I
it's,
feel a little bit about my hand though?
What is it?
Amazing.
I actually think I gave you a lot. Can I have some of that back? Please don't be weirded out that I'm going to use this on your face.
You're good.
That's why I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like primer because it just clogs me up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
But
like
you
I
don't really have
noticed
oily
something.
skin to begin with, and neither does Danielle. So then with me, I do have very oily skin. Riley, too.
I noticed a difference when I started using primer as in I stopped breaking out.
Yes. So it just depends on your skin type. Sorry. I just threw some on your shoulder
You're
there.
good.
Because I absolutely love what you have going on here with the freckles.
Oh,
The tube is now stuck down in the bottom.
Don't mind me, I'm just gonna play Merge Dragons.
You're such
I think it's interesting how we don't like what we really have, but I think that's because we get like used to it. Do you get what I'm saying? We just want the best for you, Hannah.
Thanks, me too.
Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, so
I think she was talking about herself, but that's okay. All the odds are it's gonna happen! Damn it! I accidentally merged something I didn't mean to merge on my Merge Dragons game.
it happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
I myself feel myself turning into an old man more and more every day. I'm literally using a walker, Hannah.
Don't pull that disabled bull crap. I have a speech impediment, you a-hole! I have a lisp! You don't know the struggle!
So I do contour because I like to create angles for my face. Because if I don't have contour, I look like a thumb. So then, like those thumb people in Spy Kids, you know what I'm talking about?
I think about thumbs a lot, actually.
I do a lot of contouring to create those lines that I don't have naturally. You have almost every line naturally. Like you have a very nice nose.
You got
have,
excellent bone structure.
Yes,
Danielle.
excellent bone structure here.
Thank
So I
you.
don't think I'm going to do a ton of contour, and I think I'm
Okay.
going to stick mostly to bronzer. When I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, I have big arms too, but I'm not as self-conscious about those.
This makeup smells really good. Is it the chocolate one?
Mm-hmm. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Matte Bronzer. I kind of want to, because I started just by going down the side of the notes, but now I want to kind of bring things across to create a little bit of like a button here. The nose is not going to look finished yet because I have to go in and do the highlight. For me, what makes the nose is that you have the contour where you narrow down the bridge and then you throw on the highlight in between, and that creates your tight nose. We're going to do bronzer.
Smells like I'm tanning.
I want to take this outer corner here with your eyeshadow, and I want to make it an angle instead of just, because you can see that's kind of like curved a little bit, and I feel like that's not going great with your eye shape. So I want to just take a little bit of concealer and just cut it up right here.
Because this is what I always end up with, is like that curve, and I don't know how to fix it.
There are a couple different ways you could do. There's a technique you can use beforehand and a technique you can use after. So mine is cut today like that because I use these little tape things under my eyes. Right, but they're very irritating. I only use these maybe once every like 2 to 3 weeks because that's all my eyes can take of them. I'm going to show you what I would do after the fact. I'm going to take your concealer again. It's good if you can find a sponge with an edge like this. Like we are going to take this concealer and keep it close to the corner of the eye, but essentially we are creating a line in the eyeshadow. And then we're going to bring it into the inner corner so that it will mix with the concealer that is already at the inner corner. And then just give you one shade This is the one that's been cut under, so you see that there's no more of the fallout right here, and it's creating that line. So I don't want to cut it up that high to your brow. Oh wait, I kind of just did on accident. Oh well. Guys, there's a reason this is called Disaster Artist. Because you can see, if you look in the video here, you can see that there is like a sharp line, but it is way too far past the corner of your eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the color, but I'm going to take it on a very stiff brush that I can stamp in the color. I'm going to take a little more of the shade Free. Oh, Feel Free.
And my thighs are bigger than his. Well, you're a woman. Right. Like, usually it's like the goddess.
So then you'll see that I came in and I filled in some of what I had taken, but you still have that sharp line that's above here, so you don't have any of that weird curve. So that's essentially how I would fix that. You want to find something like this that has a bit of a sharp tip somewhere, and then you can just press it into. Take either your foundation or concealer. I use concealer because I wanted to brighten up the area, but you're just going to take it, tap it into place, and then you're good to go. I want to go back in with some more shimmer because I really want your shimmer to pop. Hannah?
What?
Could you come do her eye?
What's she gonna do?
I'm just going to give you a cat.
Oh.
Special guest appearance by one Hannah Scott, who did her own makeup video a little while back. And so I love the eye she gave herself, the cat eye. It's still like one of my favorites I've ever seen, so I asked her to do Danielle's for me. Hannah is now working on her cat eye. By the way, any of you that are like, her nails, Hannah does her own nails. She does dip.
I do dip. So it's a lot of layering and a lot of just, you have to sit there, you have to put tips on, and you have to buy like a little drill kit. But that drill kit was like $20.
There was one student that he pooped himself, and her other student picked up the poop and ate it. Luckily, that's why I never go outdoors. I never want to end up, it's like, don't you want to go sit by the pool? I don't want to eat poop! It all goes downhill real fast. For lashes today, for Danielle, I am using the Morphe. When I become a famous YouTuber someday, I want them to rename that packet after me because I wear it nonstop.
And would you ever do the extensions because you do the eyelashes every day?
I kind of go back and forth on it because part of me is like, yeah, I think I would, but then part of me actually really loves just the falsy element because then if I ever decide I don't want to do that, then I don't have to. I let it go too long because I was busy listening and thinking about gummy worms. That's all. Kind of not. I don't know. This isn't working the way I want it to work. We're just gonna do eyelash curl and a mascara, and she has Lancome Monsieur Big Waterproof.
I was looking at your boobs. That's okay.
No, it's fine. Okay. I think the top is good. I'm going to do real quick the bottom. Yeah. I mean, you have nice lashes. Let's do one final thing, which is the lip, and then we will be set. Okay, so she has Revlon Ultra HD Matte Lip Color in the color 640 HD Embrace. Isn't that called the coffee table? I feel like that's called the coffee table, that region. You clean it out beforehand. Yeah. Wow, this looks great. I kind of like that we ended up not doing the falsies because this, even though it's a lot of glitter, it feels like a very kind of natural looking look overall. It does. Thank you so much for being in my video. Best of luck as you continue pursuing your schooling. And then your job as well for the coming year. And I'm so glad that we got to spend this time together. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, absolutely.